Let's move on now. Two teenagers who were found guilty over murdering teenager Brianna Ghey will be sentenced later today.
The killers will be named despite their age after a judge ruled that the serious nature of the crime warrants an exemption from anonymity. Let's give you a reminder of the case.
So, in December of 2022, Girl X sent Boy Y a video advertisement for an underground website for those interested in torture and murder, and message saying that she was obsessed over someone called Brianna.
Throughout January 2023, Boy Y and Girl X exchanged messages talking about buying knives, giving Brianna enough ibuprofen to kill her, and compiled a list of at least 4 people they wanted to kill.
Then, on February the 3rd, Girl X sent a picture of a handwritten note of their plan of how to kill Brianna, titled Saturday the 11th of February 2023, victim Brianna Ghey.
On that Saturday, the 11th, Brianna sent her mother a message saying she was on the bus by herself and scared just minutes before she met Girl X and Boy Y at a bus stop.
And then just over an hour later, Brianna was found lifeless by dog walkers and was declared dead shortly afterwards.
We're joined now in the studio by the founder of the Breck Foundation, Lauren Lefebvre, who set up the organisation in memory of her son, who was tragically groomed and murdered, aged just 14. Lauren, thank you very much indeed for being with us this morning. The sentencing due to take place today, and Girl X and Boy Y, as we are calling them now, are due to be named. Do you think it is right that their names are put in the public domain?
I think it is fair. They've obviously committed a horrific crime, something that we can't even imagine a child would ever think of. So I think it's only fair and right to the family and the people who cared about Brianna that actually they are named.
It must be extraordinarily hard for you to watch this case as well. What sort of thoughts are going through your mind?
Well, I literally went to bed thinking of Brianna, woke up thinking of Brianna, and my heart breaks for her and her mother, Esther, and everyone who cared about her. But I think it just comes back to so many of the similar issues that we have in society, with young people accessing really violent and horrid content online before they're fully developed, before their brains are ready to sort of understand and process that is evil content. And I feel that that's one of the problems that we're facing, is what young people are accessing too young.
And obviously a big topic of conversation this week in the United States with the Senate hearings and tech bosses accused of having blood on their hands for not doing enough to protect young people and children online.
Exactly. With the algorithms, once a child even hovers over something or looks at it, you know, the content that will constantly be pushed towards them will continue to be inappropriate and probably, you know, continue to get worse. And I just think there's not a balance. Children don't get time to grow up and mature before they're sent this content that we would never show them in the offline world.
And in your case, with your son, Breck, you were concerned that he was being groomed online. You started to recognise that when you went to the police.
I did. I knew 100% that he was being groomed. I just didn't know what to do with that information.
Can I ask, how did you know?
Well, part of it is parental intuition. Breck was gaming with boys from school, but I could hear a boy that sounded like a man within the gaming group, and it didn't match with the other boys and what they were talking about. And I felt like this person who ended up being the predator, I felt like they were different than the other boys, controlling, manipulative. And when I questioned Breck about it, we talked about it over the course of a year. And this predator had infiltrated their gaming group and built relationships with several of the boys over years. And it was through their shared interest, and they were having fun gaming. And basically Breck, you know, much like Brianna, became a target. You know, Breck's killer was going to abuse and kill someone. It was just which one was he going to focus on, because he groomed boys all over the UK and the US as well. And I feel like with these killers, it's similar. They obviously had a hit list of other children, picking on different people. I think certain people just aren't safe in society. And it seems to be that these two are very similar in that sense to Breck's killer.
I'm listening to you, and you know, I've got 3 children, and my boys want to game and they want to game online with their friends.
It's
and
fun.
it is terrifying. And you talked about listening because you don't always hear. They've got
With
headphones
on, exactly.
How, as a parent, can you be vigilant in order
I think,
to try and protect them?
Well, one of the reasons I set up Breck Foundation was as the police investigation unfolded, there was so much sort of information on things that we could have done along the way had we known more about where we could get help, CEOP and NSPCC. I just, as a parent, I kept going to the wrong places. And people didn't believe me because Breck didn't seem vulnerable. He seemed like an everyday schoolboy. And so it was really just trying to get people to believe me. So the work that we do now is trying to educate parents and children and police and everyone about the signs of grooming, because people could see that Breck was being groomed, but they couldn't put labels on it. They didn't know what to do about it.
And as you said, you went to the police, and of course that didn't lead anywhere. And obviously it's your word against their word as well. And of course kids will manipulate the truth and also say to you everything's fine.
Breck said everything was fine. We even had a meeting after I phoned the police, we had a meeting with other parents and the boys and sat them down and talked about our concerns. And by the end of the conversation, even though they claimed this was an everyday, cool, clever guy, we said, well, we don't know him. If we can't meet up with him face to face, we're going to have to forbid you from gaming, socializing, or speaking to him. And that's how we left it. But all that did was push it underground and made it more secretive. So, all these little mistakes that were made along the way by so many people, if only we had known more about the signs of grooming and how that manipulation and control works, we could have saved Breck.
And how can people get more information, parents get more information?
Well, our website, Breck Foundation, has a lot of information as well as signposts to all the other people that are helping out there, because collectively, working to get the Online Safety Act passed, there's so much we need to do because of the ever-evolving internet. We have to
always
constantly,
one step ahead of us.
exactly,
Of course.
and our children are constantly becoming, different developmental ages as well.
Lauren, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story. And our hearts go out to you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.